Welcome back to the Nacho Kids podcast.
Yep. Let's get into it,
We had someone post something in the Facebook group the other day.
which I try to stay out of.
Yes, he's banned, basically. And I'm going to share what they posted. Then I'm going to share a few comments
Uh-huh.
and we're going to discuss these comments.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the question is, so I've gone back and forth with my therapist on Nacho parenting, but she just fired me because I told her my stepkid wasn't mine and his issues are up to his dad and his mom. She told me to leave and she will no longer be responding to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I saw one comment that somebody said, woohoo, celebrate, cheers.
Yeah. I mean, you could look at it a couple ways. You could be shocked, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But the other side of it is this
I'm
ther
shocked.
this therapist is not for you, obviously. Um,
Right. But a therapist is not supposed to.
well, yeah, but I mean, my view on therapist, and I'm not one, I don't know one, nor have I played one on TV. But my view on therapists is that they all have certain things that are their strengths and their weaknesses.
Mhm.
And some of them bring in their own experience. Well, I think all of them do. They bring in their own experiences. They bring in the experiences of others that they've therapied. And sometimes they're better in certain areas than others. Honestly, if the therapist fired you,
Mhm.
that's better than giving you bad information and advice.
True. True. Very
Okay.
true. Okay. One of the responses, there were many.
Oh yeah.
I just grabbed a few. One of them was, I had to fire my counselor after 8
Oh,
years.
wow.
He told me I had to be stepson's mom since bio mom wasn't around. I stayed home, and since my husband provides for all of us. So bio mom's not around, so you got to be mom. No.
No,
You
no,
stay home, so you have to be mom. No. Your husband provides financially, so you have to be mom. What?
no. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't be a caregiver.
Or an adult,
Yeah,
a
but
babysitter, caregiver. Yeah.
there's a big difference there. And anyway, some of my comments I'll hold off because I think you'll get to a point where
You'll have a lot to say.
I'll have more to say.
Okay. Another lady said, I'm a clinical
Here
psychologist
we go.
and I always worry when clients don't want to nacho. Yep.
We need to get her on the podcast.
For those of you listening and did not see, David was doing his hands in the air,
Do the air pump.
the air pump.
What?
And I actually did comment and said, girl, get on my podcast.
I know.
Here's the one that's going to fire David up. Y'all ready?
Well, before I get fired up, I do want to say there are a ton of therapists and counselors and coaches and all that
Support our
actually support
methodology.
it, and there are many of them that are in the academy or have been part of the academy.
They've been in the academy. They've researched it. There's been papers written,
Yeah.
all kind of stuff.
So
So they are out there.
we need to have a Nacho Kids for Therapist or something like that to help these folks understand it and learn it so they can help others. Okay,
Right.
next.
Next.
Let's get fired up.
Okay. It's probably because a therapist's job is to help bring families together, and she probably doesn't see how she can do that with this mindset. Most people don't understand this method. And if you're not really familiar with this method, it can be taken the wrong way. Maybe if there was a therapist that's specifically for nachoing kids, that could help. But I can't see a lot of therapists embracing the method because most family therapists' main goal is going to be to bring the family together. And their number one priority is probably always going to be the children. And nachoing is solely for yourself and your mental health and your relationship. Hang on before you say anything. I agree with a lot of
I
this.
do too, but she's going in and out of it.
So I agree
I
wholeheartedly.
say she. I don't know if it's a she or a he, but
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly that a lot of people don't understand the method.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also, this person doesn't understand it either because of some of the other comments.
It can be taken the wrong way.
Yeah,
We know that.
agree with that. Yep.
That's one reason we changed it from Nacho problem to Nacho responsibility.
Yep. Years ago.
Yes, years ago in the very beginning, because people go, it's not my problem.
Yeah. No, actually, it does become your problem.
And for some reason, it has more of a,
Dismissive.
yeah, snarky,
Yeah.
hateful,
Well, yeah.
smart alecky.
It's like, here's your mess. I'm walking away.
Not my problem
All right.
versus not my responsibility.
Yeah. But let's work on this together.
Right. So I agree with that.
Okay.
And I agree that it is taken the wrong way.
Yep. Agree with that.
Did I say that already?
Probably, but I'm agreeing
Okay.
the second time.
All right. And some therapists don't know about the method, they don't research it. The good ones, I don't want to say the good ones because that means others are bad, but the ones that are open to learning about new methodologies and understanding it and joining the academy so they understand it better.
Mhm.
Now, granted, they're not licensed Nacho kids people, but still,
Yeah.
they have a better understanding than most.
The problem with the research is what are they researching? Because if you're just joining the Facebook group, that is terrible research.
That's not research. That's
No, but you and I both have seen people talk about how they've researched it, and then once you dig deeper, it's like you didn't even go to
the
the
website.
website, which is our content. You didn't go to the podcast, which is our content. You didn't go to any of that. You went to all these other places that have the content, which blows my mind. That's not research.
Right.
But okay, next.
Well, but there is research where people there is research where therapists and doctors have reviewed our methodology.
Yes.
So it's out there.
Yeah, moving past the whole therapists are not going to embrace this. That's not accurate because there are tons. Matter of fact, in the thread, you saw people jumping in there like the clinical psychologists. Like they not only embrace it, they like promote it. Um, and it's not necessarily to say we're promoting Nacho Kids. They're promoting the methodology around it. Okay, so I say that to say your therapist may not come up and go, you should do Nacho Kids, but yet they're talking about a lot of the tenets and the philosophies that we have in there. Does that make sense?
And we've had multiple people in the academy say my therapist told me to join.
Oh yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Nachoing is solely for yourself and your mental health and your relationship. That is not true.
The end. Thanks.
That is
Y'all have a good day.
So okay, but let's play this out. I do understand why this person may feel this way. Because a lot of what we do within the Nacho Kids, Nacho parenting methodology is about personal development. It is about lowering your stress. It is about improving your mental health. It is about all those things. But if let's just take a hypothetical, let's say Lori is stressed and her mental health is not well. Is it fair for me to say that that does not impact me at all?
No.
Is it fair to say that doesn't impact the step family dynamics at all?
No.
Is it fair to say that doesn't impact our relationship?
No.
Okay. So then therefore it can't be solely for that one person.
Right.
If you improve your mental health, if you lower your stress, then does that positively impact our relationship?
Yes.
Yes. Does it positively impact our blended family?
Yes.
And everything else around it?
Yes.
So then it's not for one person. And in fact, when Lori did these things and she did lower the stress and improve her mental health and all these things, it gave us the ability to move past
mental health.
Yeah, well, that's still a work in progress. But anyway.
But here's the thing is I actually, when you said that, I kind of was like, what? But it's right.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I was gonna say it wasn't that I was mentally unstable
No, but okay. So here's what people, I'm going off on another tangent. Here's where people get messed up with the whole mental health thing.
because it's mentally unhealthy, is what they think.
Right. Mental health doesn't mean that you're crazy. Like if you're like, I'm having a mental health issue, that doesn't mean you're going nuts and you need to be in the funny farm, which I don't think they have those anymore. But anyway, I digress. It simply means if you're suffering from stress, which we all do, stress is a mental health issue. So what? Wait a minute. You mean we all have mental health issues? The answer is yes.
100%.
That's to some degree, and at some point, we all have mental health issues. Doesn't mean that you're a crazy person. Doesn't mean you're going to go out and do something, completely unhinged. It just simply means that your mental state is not healthy.
Mhm.
That's it.
And that can actually be something you don't recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And through all the research that I did and the courses I've done and the challenges in the academy, your mental health is something you can control.
Mm-hmm.
Even thinking when I do something, I'll be like, oh, I'm stupid.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
I should not tell myself I'm stupid.
It's think about it like this. Okay, you're going out to eat and you have all these things on the menu and you see that big 10-layer chocolate cake. And you're
That's what
like,
I'm getting.
okay, so the question is, if you were to ask yourself this, which we know we don't, but is this a healthy option?
Yes.
The answer would be
It
no.
has dairy
The answer is no. That's not,
and bread.
it doesn't mean you don't order it. You may decide to do that. Is it a healthy option for you? No, it's not. Now, if you take that same process and you think about, okay, if I call myself stupid, is that a healthy option for me?
No.
No, it's not. Now, doesn't mean you won't do it, just like it doesn't mean you won't eat the cake or whatever. But some people it impacts differently, just like the cake does.
Mm-hmm.
But some people go, "Oh, I'm stupid, ha ha ha." It's self-deprecating, no big deal, blah blah blah. We won't go down the whole path of what your words right now, but it's not a healthy option. And oftentimes, whether it's personal or in relationships, we often find ourselves choosing an unhealthy option. It's unhealthy mentally, just the way some things are unhealthy physically.
Yes.
Now that you agree, let's move on.
No, I want to stay on that for a second because I thought about this one time and I actually wrote it, used it. If I went to a job interview and they said, describe yourself.
I'm like, you looking at me? Why I gotta describe myself?
If that morning you had a bad morning,
Uh-huh.
what are those things you thought of yourself that morning? Would you tell that prospective employer that I'm stupid, I'm unorganized, I can't remember doo doo, I'm a bad wife because this, no.
No,
Why don't we speak to ourselves better?
yeah. It's not good.
And if you talk to me like I talk to me,
That would be a
we wouldn't
problem.
be.
That's right. Hmm.
And that's something you have to do. And I'm telling you, I'm preaching to the choir sometimes because I do. I'll work on something and Canva or whatever, and it gets aggravating. And then I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. No, I'm not stupid.
Nope.
I just didn't know what I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to replace with I'm stupid is I'm
I'm
learning.
still learning.
So a lot of the whole Nacho thing is so it is mental health because it's teaching you to think kinder of yourself and others and not react to things, more responding to things and looking at things from a different perspective.
Yeah. It's identifying not just what your triggers are, but what are the problems within the family unit. and what can you control versus what you can't. And maybe some things are like, yeah, sure, it is the responsibility of the dad and mom of the step kid, but what role do you play in that?
Right.
And you can't, you don't go, "Well, I don't play any role in it." You do play a role in it.
But it's not all your fault.
No, it's not. We're not pointing blame. We're like, what is your role in it? Not like, what is your role in creating the problem? What is your role in actually fixing the issues?
Right.
Maybe your role is that you're not engaging with the kid when certain things happen. That's your role. Versus, well, if they don't speak to me when they walk in the door, I'm chewing their tail out. That's not helpful most of the time, if any of the time. So again, it's just about learning where that is and where that role is and what's working for you, what's working for the relationship, what's working for the family unit, because there are all these different things going on, and all of them have to be addressed differently, and all of them can't be addressed at the same time most of the time.
Right.
Which means you have to usually start the process of relieving the stress and the pressure, working on yourself, then working on your relationship, and then working on the family unit.
And I want to say that I remember one day sitting there thinking, this was pre Nacho, or kind of like right when I
mid
started
mid
Nacho.
nacho.
And I was like, you know, in my head, I kind of pictured a clock,
Okay.
all the gears running together.
Right.
Everything's working good.
Mm-hmm.
I threw a monkey wrench in it.
You did.
That's what it looked like when I came into this blended family. Things were running smoothly, according to the people that were involved.
Right.
And I was just a monkey wrench. And it wasn't that I was the problem, it's there wasn't space for another gear. There was, we had to create that space.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but that's just how I related it in my head. But it would have been easy for me to go, oh, it's all me. It's always Lori. You can go down that road if you want to, but you're not helping yourself.
Right.
And I know with me, I know I'm a big part of this. And that was not easy to accept. But I realized that the things that I could change would not only benefit me, it would benefit my son. It would benefit people I work with. You know, David could be the grumpy one. He could be the angry stepdad.
Never.
But anybody comes into a house and they've got an attitude, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say attitude, it can be you're mad, you're angry, you're sad, not that you're just being a butthole, but just you can tell when something's off with people and it affects everybody. So if stepmom's been riding around the block for 15 minutes, not wanting to come home, and she walks in and trips over a pair of the stepkid's shoes, everybody gonna feel it. She ain't got to say a word.
Yeah. And it's very easy to have triggers like that. And
Right.
it's like I walked out of the bathroom the other day and kicked something that was on the floor. I don't know how long it had been there, but it's like a decorative piece sitting on. I swear to you, it wasn't there the other day. I don't know how long it's been there, but I kicked it, and like immediately my blood pressure shot through the roof. Like, what is this thing doing here? Because mainly because I was trying to be quiet. You ever try to be really quiet and you kick something,
Everything.
and then it's like, oh, like, why is this even there? Why is this in my way? And and fortunately, Lori was, well, she probably wasn't asleep at the moment because I kicked the thing. But had she engaged with me at that moment, I probably would have snapped back at her, not because of anything with her. It's just I had an immediately I was aggravated with something.
Mm-hmm. It was your emotion.
Yeah, right. And so had you engaged with me, I probably would have snapped at you. Because that's the
If I'd have said, "What's wrong?" You'd have been like, "This stupid thing." And
right. And then you could have fed off of that. And here you go. Now you're playing ping pong back and forth
yep,
with negative emotions.
right.
It's like, you're negative. I'm negative. You're negative. You see what I'm saying? It just becomes a problem.
Yep. So if you walk in and you're looking at things differently, and you didn't ride around 15 minutes, around the block, wasting gas and time because you didn't want to go home to the stepkids. And you didn't think about how much you hated going home to the stepkids on your drive home from work. That is going to affect everybody in your family.
Mm-hmm.
That's the purpose of it, is to calm things down, make things work for everybody.
I agree 100%.
All right.
So there you have it. Nacho parenting. It's not just for the step person.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the whole entire family. In fact,
The stepkids.
we're wanting, the goal is to have the family unit become better. It's the same thing as I think most therapists want. This is why I disagree with that part of the post, because I do think we're all going in the same direction. We may have a different method to get there, but we're definitely wanting the same outcome.
It's because they're viewing the therapist according to, if anybody wonders what that was, it was doing quotes in the air. Apparently, I make noise.
I didn't know air quotes made noises.
I believe that many therapists don't understand how a step family or a blended family can be a quote family, that they press the nuclear family dynamics onto this family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what's going to work.
Yeah.
So it is the same goal, but they're looking at a painting of Mona Lisa versus a Picasso.
Yeah.
They trying to get the Mona Lisa when we're like, we happy with the Picasso.
Well, I think it boils down to they just don't know any better.
Right.
They don't. We've had therapists tell us time and again they don't teach us this stuff about step families.
No, they teach it as nuclear family stuff.
Right.
I'm sure they've started to more recently, but it's still not.
I don't know that they have. I mean, it's not like stepfamilies is new.
No.
I think it's tough. It is a tough thing. So if you find a therapist, you really have to do your vetting. And I think, didn't we do a whole thing on vetting therapists? But you've got to really.
We did it with a therapist on how to vet your therapist.
You got to understand that not every therapist is the same. Even to think that, I think, is kind of crazy, but they're not all the same. They don't all believe the same things. They don't all have the same strengths. They don't all have the same training. And so you should do your shopping around as you're vetting these people. And just like this particular therapist in this story here, she determined that this was not a person that she wanted to work with for whatever reason. They didn't have the same beliefs about step families. Good that they fired you, because terrible would have been for you to stay with this person for a year or so and then telling you all the exact opposite things.
But what could have been done is the therapist could have referred her to somebody else.
Could have, but do they even know anybody else?
That's true.
Don't know. I mean, they could be like, hey, we sit around at McDonald's and we all of our therapists in the area feel like it's not your things are crazy.
Maybe.
Which the funny thing is, anytime we've ever heard somebody say, like, I disagree with Nachoing, they almost immediately go into saying things about what they do agree with that actually is part of Nachoing.
Yeah. No, things that they do, physically do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait a minute. You just said you didn't agree with it. Then you're trying to telling me you do agree with it without telling me you agree with it.
You're telling me you're doing things that are part of the methodology, but you don't agree with the methodology.
Yeah, which just tells me you don't understand it.
Right. I don't understand what you just said.
I don't either. So there we go. That's it for today.
And I was thinking of something really good to say, and I was trying to listen and I forgot.
Well, that's why active listening is hard. So.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Look, it's so good when it comes back quickly. So I had to go to a therapist. It was a court-ordered therapist for co-parenting, right? Well, I went to this lady and we were talking about my son, and there was a safety concern. And she asked me, she said, well, you shouldn't let that bother you. And I said, ma'am, with all due respect, which is Southern for what the heck, do you have kids? And she said, yes. I said, and you're telling me that I shouldn't worry about my kid. She said, I'm telling you that you need to focus on something else. I said, like what? She said, like putting a rubber band on your wrist. And when you think of worrying about your kid, just pop the rubber band. I looked at her and I said, I think you need to go back to school because something's not right
You
here.
should, next time you decide to give somebody that advice, you should pop that rubber band.
Thankfully, the ex never showed up. So I was able to switch therapists
Yeah.
to Mr. Butler. That's how I found Mr. Butler, because of
Thank goodness.
the crazy rubber
Uh,
band lady. But you're going to click with people.
yeah. Look, therapists are just like any other profession. You're
But
gonna
you
have,
don't, I'm sorry, but you don't want somebody that's only validating your crap.
yeah, that's true.
You know, a true friend will tell you, look, Lori, I can see where you're coming from, but you off the chain, girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I was going to say, therapists are just like any other profession. There are good ones, there are great ones, and there are terrible ones.
Yep. And one person even commented, and I didn't print this one, but it said, we got to quit treating them like they're gods. They make mistakes. They're people.
Right. They do.
Mm-hmm. But
And I'm not necessarily suggesting you go out and fire your therapist because they don't agree with Nacho.
right,
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but present it to them. Try to figure out what is it about this that you don't agree with. It,
right.
it could just boil down to I don't like the fact that it's called Nacho Kids.
That is 60%.
Okay, well, great. Do you agree with the tenets of it though?
Mm-hmm.
If you do, then okay, we can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just call it something different.
No, we're not changing the name. We're
No,
not
not
changing it.
us. Y'all can call it something different.
Yeah.
But the
Mm-hmm.
main thing is you get the help that you need. Whether, and we tell people this all the time, if you don't like Nacho Kids methodology and Nacho parenting, find help somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Find something that works for you and your family that you resonate with, that's going to improve your family and your blend, your mental health, and everything else.
And if you ask a potential therapist, do you know anything about Nacho parenting, the Nacho Kids method, whatever, however you want to phrase it, nachoing, and they say, yeah, it's disengaging, they don't know what they're talking about.
No,
It's
that's
not just disengaging.
no, that's the first step of it. That
Yeah.
is not the process.
I would say it's one of the steps,
Yeah.
maybe the first. Depends.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. We have bounced around like a Mexican jumping bean.
All right, folks, join us again next week. And until then, remember, life is good
When you nacho.